Part 43. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 425. We're coming to, the toads didn't want to be underestimated by the lobsters. Since the spit attack doesn't work, use close combat instead. It's just a weak human race that can be defeated with one hand. After an hour. Auntie, are we using the right strength? Dozens of lobsters surrounded Sotingu and Shark, massaging each of them with their pair of large pliers. The lobster leader asked with a thick face, fearing that Sotingu would be unhappy in some way. As for the other toads, their noses were bruised and their faces were swollen, as if they had big pustules all over their bodies. They could only look at those dead lobsters trying to please Sotingu with hatred. As for himself, his whole body was filled with poison. He was unsightly and unpalatable, and the leader of the toad really couldn't figure out how to please Sotingu. The toad leader's grin became slightly wider, and the bulge around his mouth became even more painful. They are too difficult. Although he was full of poison, he couldn't even touch the opponent's shadow, and he was still howling after being beaten. On this side, Sotingu replied happily, "It's not bad, not bad." After receiving Sotingu's approval, the group of lobsters worked harder and more seriously on the massage. Even the shark tugged at Sotingu's tiger skin and shouted, "Try harder, it's too light." The lobsters showed no anger at all and honestly increased their intensity. After enjoying it for a while, Sotingu waved his hand and signaled the lobsters to retreat. Without hesitation, the lobsters sat down with the toads very obediently. Sotingu looked around. "Now, you should be able to listen to me calmly, right?" The lobsters and toads nodded together. Next, Sotingu explained his reason and purpose. "So, I'm really just here to help you resolve disputes amicably." When they heard this last sentence, the lobsters and toads hugged each other and cried in unison, as if they were moved by Sotingu's righteous act of kindness. Lobsters, woohoo! Poseidon is above. Why do we need to suddenly meet the nosy Shenjing Bing? Toads, woohoo! Poseidon is above. Why should we suddenly experience such a heartbreaking tragedy? Ahem. Seeing how happy they were, Sotingu was a little embarrassed. "Don't be excited, don't be moved, it's nothing, I should do it all." Finally, Sotingu fully solicited the opinions of both parties. The lobsters agreed to allocate a portion of their territory to the toads that they did not often stay in or were not happy to stay at. The habits of toads and lobsters are very different. The areas that lobsters avoid are actually the new homes that toads dream of. Sotingu made another suggestion, that the toads wear gloves and catch the food that the lobsters like to eat, and come back as compensation for harassing the lobsters for the time. The lobsters participated in the project of building a new home for the toads. The toads' original home was destroyed due to disasters. In desperation, they migrated as a family and came here. After hearing the inside story, the hot-tempered lobsters gradually understood the toads, eliminating most of their unhappiness. In fact, the lobsters respect the strong very much. Although they are a bit bullying and afraid of the strong, it can be seen from the fact that they only let powerful sea creatures pass through the mountains before. The turf dispute is finally over, and the lobsters are trying to accept this new neighbor who has shared their troubles together. When Sotingu's conch lit up yellow, she knew she could leave. Being a Bug in a Survival Game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 426. Auntie, ahead is the Mermaid Kingdom. After several days of long journey, Sotingu finally returned to the Mermaid Kingdom. "Yeah, thank you." Sotingu swam off the shark's back. Shark just wanted to leave as soon as possible. Even if he stayed with Sotingu for one more second, Shark felt uncomfortable all over. It's just that Sotingu is too shady and a bitch. The potion that was previously lied to Shark was poisonous. However, when Shark asked about the antidote, Sotingu said lightly, "Antidote? What antidote?" "Candy." After that, he also asked Shark to eat a candy. Very meow. Just ordinary candy. Shark also belatedly realized that he had been deceived by Sutingyu, and there was no poisoning at all. Auntie, never see you again, I'm leaving. After a hasty greeting, the shark immediately slipped away. Ah! Sharks are all good fish that do good deeds and don't leave their address behind, right? Sutingyu sighed. For the remaining distance, Sutingyu swam by relying on his belt. Well, there is still one quality left, and the so-called orb has not been found, but it's not a big problem. Did the mermaids say that they must find the orb or light up all the qualities before they can come back? I'm not impressed at all. Sutingyu said. After muttering some words, I gave myself the confidence to come back. Sutingyu swam for a while, then suddenly stopped. Forget it, we still can't go back directly. How about, sneak in first? Since there is a problem in the mermaid kingdom, she appears openly now, and what she can see must be what the mermaids want her to see. And if you sneak in, maybe you will make new discoveries. The more Sutingyu thought about it, the more he thought it was okay. What a great idea. As expected of you, Sutingyu. Sutingyu put the conch back into the inventory, took out his hat and put it on. At the beginning, the conch suddenly glowed, making the fish aware of the player's arrival. Putting the conch in the inventory should isolate the mermaids from their exploration methods. As for how to pass through the mermaid kingdom's mask without the conch as a medium, Sutingyu was also prepared. After staying in the master's shop for half a month, Sutingyu also asked about many things. Among them, Sutingyu described the problem of the light mask in the mermaid kingdom. With a glimmer of hope, she wanted to know from her master whether there was a way to pass through the light mask quietly without using conches. As a result, after listening to it, my master really had a method. Using conch as a medium, his master fiddled with a magic circle. For this purpose, the other player's conch that Sutingyu obtained was damaged. Sutingyu took out the storage ring from the inventory and put it on the index finger of her right hand. Sutingyu was not used to carrying things on her hands, especially her left hand, which was the most flexible, but in order to make it easier to take things out of the ring, she had to make do with it. He took out a piece of magic patch engraved with magic inscriptions from the ring. Putting it against her body, Sutingyu quietly approached the light shield of the mermaid kingdom and tried to reach out to touch it. The velcro on Sutingyu's body lit up. She didn't feel any blockage and came in smoothly. After Sutingyu came in, he lowered his head and glanced at the magic sticker on his body. Most of the magic inscriptions on it had dimmed. He estimated that after using it once or twice at most, the magic sticker would become invalid. Sutingyu carefully pulled off the magic sticker and put it back into the storage ring. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 427. Chapter 427 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea 82, additional update for Guo Nanyi, Dharma Protector. Sutingyu, who entered the Mermaid Kingdom, found that something was wrong with the atmosphere here. When we first arrived, although the mermaids' behavior and corresponding color qualities were in opposite states, there were still relatively many mermaids active. But now, the streets are deserted, and active mermaids are rarely seen. Sutingyu walked for a while and saw some mermaids sleeping directly on the street, with their hands folded and flat in front of them, with peaceful faces and smiles on their lips, as if they had dreamed of something wonderful. Eh? This tower, I guess you didn't see it when you came here for the first time, right? Sutingyu suddenly saw that not far behind the Mermaid Crystal Palace, a conical tower with a height of 100 meters appeared in the open space. In this tall tower, only one door can be seen at the bottom, which is not guarded by a mermaid, and only a small window can be seen at the top. This looks a bit like a prison. Sutinyu thought and swam quickly in the direction of the tower. Entering the tower, a staircase spiraling around the wall leads to the top floor. Fortunately, this was the bottom of the sea, so Sutinyu didn't have to be stubborn to climb the stairs with his feet. He floated up, which saved him a lot of effort. As soon as Sutinyu came up, she immediately made eye contact with the Great Mermaid Elder who was waiting at the top of the stairs. Sutinyu's little heart suddenly shrank, and she didn't even dare to take a breath. It took half a second for his brain to realize that he was now invisible, and the Great Mermaid Elder couldn't see him. It was just that the Great Mermaid Elder had a serious and oppressive face, which was difficult for Sutinyu to ignore. The Great Mermaid Elder frowned slightly and lowered his head to look down. Taking advantage of the few seconds when the Mermaid Elder's gaze shifted, Sutinyu swam higher and swam in from the top of the former's head. Inside was a stone room that looked a bit like a cage. After Sutinyu swam closer, he heard the Mermaid Queen's voice coming from inside. Compared with the original aloofness and coldness, the current Mermaid Queen's tone is very restless, even a little impatient. "Are you willing to blow the conch? The mermaid people of the Mermaid Kingdom have fallen into a deep sleep." An elegant female voice that was clearly not the voice of the Mermaid Queen came out. "I'm not qualified to play. Besides, even if I could play, I wouldn't be able to comply with your ideas. Do you want to watch the Mermaid clan perish?" The Mermaid Queen's voice was filled with anger. "Destruction? Rather than living in confusion day after day, it is better to die and be free." The Mermaid Queen shouted angrily, "Nelly! Are you really unwilling to cooperate with me?" Sutinyu's eyes widened slightly. "Nelly? The mermaid inside is Princess Nelly?" "Heh, that's not up to you," the Mermaid Queen mocked coldly. Sutinyu stretched out her head and took a look inside. "You won't know if you don't look at it, but you will be shocked when you look at it." The golden fish tail of the Mermaid Queen seemed to have been mostly dyed black at this time, and the fish shadow under her tail actually moved on its own initiative, making movements that were completely inconsistent with the Mermaid Queen. And Princess Nelly, sitting on a cold stone bed, her hands and feet were chained, her eyes were calm, and she didn't take the threat of the Mermaid Queen seriously. Sutinyu took another look and felt that the appearance of the Mermaid Queen and Princess Neely were somewhat similar, but one was cold and aloof, while the other was unworldly. Mother and daughter? Sisters. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 428. The shadow covered Princess Neely's delicate body and kept invading her body. Spiderweb-like black threads appeared on Princess Neely's jade-like skin, and her originally aqua-blue eyes inside, a trace of sinister black light flashed. Princess Nelly's expression is sometimes painful and sometimes sinister, as if there are two consciousnesses fighting for the dominance of the body. This shadow on the Mermaid Queen, Sutinyu always felt a little familiar, as if she had seen it somewhere. "It's on the mural of Dragon Palace." The Dragon Clan thought it was just an accidental Poseidon shadow. The more Sutinyu looked at it carefully, the more he felt that this thing, apart from being a bit grayer, was somewhat similar to the image of Poseidon. Are the shadows on the dragon mural not a coincidence? So what is the origin of this shadow? The shadow hiding behind Poseidon, the shadow of Poseidon? Poseidon's brother? Main mission, looking for the heart of the brave, 8/8, completed. Main mission, sealing the legendary sea monster, to be refreshed. After Sutinyu's thoughts about the shadows vaguely emerged, the main mission began to be refreshed. The quality of wisdom lights up. This means that Sutinyu's conjecture is correct. The conch that Sutinyu placed in the inventory burst out with 8 colors of light, like 8 colored glass, crystal clear. Siren? The legendary siren? There's only one word difference between it and Poseidon. Sutinyu's eyes fell on the shadow at the feet of the Mermaid Queen. Is this thing the siren? Marine creatures generally believe in the god of the sea, but now there is a siren. Is it possible that all the anomalies in the mermaid kingdom are due to the influence of the Kraken? The main mission shows that he is going to seal the sea monster. Could it be that the sea monster was sealed before and now the seal is broken? The layer of shadow on the mermaid queen's body completely broke away, and it was densely packed, all crawling up Princess Neely's body little by little. This, Nailin. You betrayed the faith of Poseidon. You are a sinner of the mermaid clan, Princess Neely screamed in pain. The mermaid queen raised her head and laughed, ha ha ha, faith. Poseidon. My stupid sister, this is Lord Poseidon's clone. As a member of the ocean, it is your honor to be controlled by Lord Poseidon. As she spoke, the mermaid queen took out the purifying conch. Nelly, take the conch, blow it, and help the great and noble Lord Poseidon break the shackles of the seal. No. No, Nelly struggled with her expression, but her body stood up uncontrollably, then stretched out her hand, and gradually approached the purifying conch bit by bit. Blow, blow quickly, the mermaid queen's eyes flashed with madness, as if she was expecting something. Will blowing the conch release the sea monster's seal? This guess flashed through Sutingu's heart. Seeing that Princess Neely could no longer hold on any longer, the conch was already placed on her lips, just about to blow, when Su heard the fish move. Sutingu swam to Princess Neely in twos and twos, grabbed the purifying conch, and then immediately pulled away. What's going on? The mermaid queen widened her beautiful eyes. This Princess Neely, who had been struggling to resist, also looked confused. In front of their eyes, it was like a purifying conch suddenly flew out on its own. Sutingu, who had obtained the purifying conch, glanced at the panel and saw that the task was not completed. We have already captured the purifying conch, can't we still conclude that the mission is completed? Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 429. Sutingu thought for a while, took off his hat, and released his invisibility. After Sutingu's figure was revealed, the mermaid queen's eyes narrowed. It's you. Yes, Her Majesty the Queen, if I hadn't sneaked in carefully, why wouldn't I have seen this wonderful show, Sutingu said as she put the purifying conch into the storage in front of the mermaid queen. In the object ring. And this move also angered the mermaid queen. Return the purifying conch. Sutingu clicked his tongue and shook his head, there's nothing you can't pay back. I'm a brave man, the messenger of Poseidon. This conch was given to you by Poseidon as a mermaid clan. Now I represent Poseidon's will and take it? Isn't it too much? Is it reasonable? Messenger of Poseidon, brave. Princess Neely murmured, and the extinguished light in her eyes lit up again. The legend is true. Whenever Poseidon's people suffer a major disaster, a brave man representing Poseidon's will come. Hello Princess Neely, the fourth highness of the dragon clan misses you very much. Sutingu turned to look at Princess Neely who had lost her virginity, thought for a while, and said with a smile. There was a strange look in Princess Neely's eyes, the fourth highness, Po Yang? Isn't he the youngest dragon highness anymore? Sutingu, my enemy, he has a silly younger brother. Have you said enough? The mermaid queen interrupted the conversation between the two with an angry look. Oops, you forgot Our Majesty the Queen, so let's deal with you first. As he said that, Sutingu took out his falling stick and pointed it directly at the mermaid queen's face. Haha, are you sure? People from another world, the mermaid queen gave a sharp look. The shadow on Princess Neely's body seized the initiative in her body in an instant, and put her hands around her neck. Outlander, hand over the conch, otherwise, Nelly will die now, the mermaid queen threatened. Sutingu made a pause gesture, and then asked with a curious face, wait a minute, Princess Neely is your sister and a member of your tribe. This is just the first time we met, so why do you think so? Would I be a stranger whom I met for the first time, and then obey your words? The mermaid queen kept saying that she was from another world, but Sotinyu still paid attention to this. "Stop pretending, I believe you don't want your mission to fail like this," the Mermaid Queen said coldly. Hearing this, Sotinyu's smile deepened a bit. Interesting. Task. This was the first time she met a dungeon NPC and learned about the player's mission. However, one should not draw conclusions too easily. Sotinyu could tentatively believe that this mission refers to the task of a brave man. As a brave man, I naturally have a mission. But in my mission, it doesn't matter if I have one more Princess Naili or one less Princess Naili. It's up to you. Sotinyu showed a casual attitude that would not accept this. But it stumped the Mermaid Queen for a while. What if the safety of the entire mermaid clan is in danger? Suddenly, the Great Mermaid Elder swam in at the door of the stone chamber. He showed no surprise at Sotinyu's appearance. Sotinyu narrowed his eyes slightly. Is this old guy eavesdropping on the corner? Sotinyu had reason to suspect that when he first met the Mermaid Elder, he had already noticed it. But the Mermaid Elder still let him in. Now I have also obtained the purifying conch. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 430. People from other worlds. If the mermaid clan is wiped out, your mission will definitely fail, right? The great elder of the mermaids said that he was sure of victory, and he said the mermaid clan was wiped out in an understatement. Sotinyu tilted her head. She really wanted to say sorry. It doesn't really matter to see how this old guy changed his face. Fortunately, Sotinyu had some sense. The current mission was a phased one. God knows if there would be a mission to save the Mermaid Kingdom later. Siren, what do you want? Sotinyu said in a cold tone. Ha ha ha, what siren? I don't understand, the great elder of the mermaid chuckled. Sotinyu rolled her eyes. Stop pretending, the Mermaid Queen has problems. You, the great mermaid elder, can't be spared, right? But then again, one is respected as a god and respected by all spirits, and the other is just a demon. No one cares about it. The difference is indeed a bit big. No wonder I want to replace it and become the Poseidon myself. The expression of the great mermaid elder suddenly darkened. Huh, Poseidon? I am the real god. The great mermaid elder took the initiative to reveal his identity. At this time, even the tone of his voice changed, as if another soul suddenly woke up in his body. People from other worlds, I have no intention of being hostile to you. If you can come back, all 8 qualities must have been lit up, right? Then it is most appropriate for you to blow the conch. If you don't do what I say, then I will destroy the entire mermaid clan, make your mission fail, and then let you taste all the punishments in this world and experience what it means to live but not die. Tisk. Is this world really just a game world? The indigenous NPC actually knows the approximate origin of the player. Sotinyu had no choice but to agree. Yes, but let me choose the place where I will blow the conch myself. Only in the Mermaid Kingdom. Also, don't try any tricks. You aliens are very weak. Without weird props, you become vulnerable, the siren in the Mermaid Elder warned. Hearing this, Sotinyu was 100% confirmed. The identity of the player was revealed at the beginning. This dungeon world is a world of myths and magic, and the natives are relatively receptive to supernatural events. In addition, this is a professional dungeon. It is very likely that players came before Sotinyu and other players, and then accidentally exposed the player's identity in front of the sea monster. But, Sotinyu couldn't understand. Isn't this the copy world dominated by the game Parallel Paradise? Isn't it okay to clear the NPC's memory? It will also allow NPCs to retain their original memories. Or is this a bug in the game? It is indeed a hot chicken game. Bad review. Sutingyu told the location very simply. It was at the top of the tower outside, where one could see the entire mermaid kingdom at a glance. Siren agreed. The mermaid queen is still holding Princess Neely hostage, and is wary of Sutingyu's every move. But the conscience of heaven and earth, Sutingyu really just wanted to use the conch to sing a good song to the fish. Standing on the top of the tower, Sutingyu, who had never held a concert before, expressed that she was extremely excited. At the top of the tower is her stage. The entire mermaid kingdom is the venue for her concert. The mermaids in the entire mermaid kingdom, including the sirens, are her audience. Also, I might be late, but I won't be absent. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 431. Sutingyu overlooked the entire mermaid kingdom, and his last gaze fell on the purifying conch in his hand. Sutingyu was not in a hurry. He first took out medical alcohol to disinfect it, and then washed it several times with clean water. After only a short delay, the siren impatiently urged, "What are you waiting for? Hurry up and blow." Sutingyu coughed twice, cleared his throat, and then brought the small hole at the tail of the conch to his mouth and held it gently. There was no preparation, but a second before she was about to speak, a piece of music she had heard before naturally appeared in Sutingyu's mind. She closed her eyes gently, and the light note slowly came from the conch. Out. I fall on your fingertips, just like the stars rushing to the sea, falling in front of your eyes. Watch me fall into the abyss. I traveled through space just to walk into your sight, and at the last moment, change the past. Perhaps due to the blessing of the purifying conch itself, Sutingyu's clear conch sound spread throughout the mermaid kingdom without the cooperation of any microphone or machine. At this time, in the secret room of the Mermaid Crystal Palace, a crack appeared in the statue of Poseidon. A trace of fishy black gas came out from inside the statue through the small cracks, then floated out of the secret room and floated over the mermaid kingdom. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I want to be free. I want to be free. The siren clones possessing the mermaid elder, mermaid queen and Princess Nelly gave up on the three fish and turned into a black energy. Moving closer to the black clouds gathering in the sky. Among the black clouds, a tall body that resembled a sea god was looming. Ha ha ha. Poseidon, you little bitch. Turtle thing. I am free. You can't trap me after all, ha ha ha. The sea monster raised his head and laughed wildly, laughing proudly, but the trapped one over tens of thousands of years, a lot of grievances have been accumulated. He wants to kill all sea creatures that believe in Poseidon. He will continue to destroy other places that seal his power, and then condense and strengthen himself. The siren's thoughts are very beautiful. However, the top priority right now is to crush the little ant that can blow the purifying conch, so that he will have no worries at all. But when the siren looked down, he found that the two chess pieces he had bewitched by the mermaid tribe had all fallen to the ground and were already unconscious. What's going on? Just when the siren was confused, the conch sound on the tower stopped for 2 seconds, and then turned into a real female singing voice. The stars are changing, the universe is spreading, we are further away. Waiting for the next light year, I will still ferry you to the shore. I will not change if reincarnation continues. The siren's eyelids suddenly began to fight up and down, and the overwhelming sleepiness came over him, with the force of a stormy sea and the endless temptation of a gentle and carefree country. Don't sing, the siren roared, with a ferocious expression on his face, as if he was about to get rid of the temptation of singing in the next second. Ken. Damn it. These were the last words that popped into the mind of the siren at the last second when he lost consciousness. The huge body of the sea monster suddenly lost its balance. Because it was too heavy, it could not float naturally, and gradually sank to the bottom of the sea. The singing lasted for half an hour before gradually disappearing. At this moment, the entire mermaid kingdom fell into absolute silence, except for some slight snores. The culprit, Sotingyu, sat slumped on the tower and quickly drank half a bottle of water to replenish his fluids. Song source: Star River enters the sea. Being a bug in a survival game. Author: Kuanke. Chapter 432. After replenishing her fluids, Sotingyu felt that she was good again and could sing forever. But the audience fell down, and there was little point in continuing to sing. Almost, but fortunately I reacted quickly. I saw that the sound of the conch shell couldn't hypnotize me, so I went straight to it. Sotingyu looked at the unconscious siren, with a happy face on his face, and couldn't help but boast about himself. Sotingyu deserves to be you. You are so smart and brave. After feeling proud, Sotingyu was about to think about how to end it. The Kraken has been released, but the main mission is still there and has not been refreshed, which is for her to find a way to seal the Kraken again. Well, let's ask the fish. Sotingyu decisively gave up the opportunity to waste brain cells, swam down and found the sleeping Princess Neely. Sotingyu also accumulated rich experience in waking up people or non-people who were hypnotized by him. Papa Papa. After a dozen slaps, Princess Neely's delicate face instantly became red and swollen into a big bun. Well. Princess Neely frowned slightly, her expression seemed a little unwilling to wake up from a sweet dream. However, this is already the time to wake up. Sure enough, in less than a minute, Princess Neely woke up faintly. What's wrong with me? Your Majesty the Brave? What kind of monster is this? Princess Neely was shocked when she saw the sea monster. Sotingyu kindly explained, this is the sea monster, which is 60–70% similar to the sea god. It is also a very scary existence. The Mermaid Queen and the Mermaid Elder were bewitched by him. It turned out to be a sea monster. Neely blinked and suddenly felt a little pain on her face. When she reached out and touched her face, it hurt even more. Apart from herself, Sotingyu was the only one who was awake here, so she asked, Your Excellency, the brave man, what's wrong with your face? Sotingyu didn't even blink. You were controlled later, and then the Mermaid Queen took the opportunity to slap you a few times and threatened me to blow the conch. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's all true. The Mermaid Queen did threaten herself with Princess Neely, so the little fairy didn't lie. I see. Princess Neely had no doubt that he was there. After all, she had deeply realized how much her sister hated her during the 200 years of imprisonment in the dark. By the way, do you know how to seal the sea monster back in? Sotingyu asked about business. You only need to use the conch once more and play a song specifically to seal the sea monster, Princess Neely explained. Sotingyu blinked her big eyes. I also need a special song. You don't need it when you lift the seal. Princess Neely happened to know this song. In fact, it was not just her, all the mermaids knew this song. When they were young, the older generation of mermaids treated the song as a nursery rhyme and taught it to every one of them. The Little Mermaid. Sotingyu learned the song after listening to it only once, but before singing, she asked Princess Neely to leave the mermaid's territory and cover her ears. Although Princess Neely was a little confused, she still complied. After waiting for almost 10 minutes, Sotingyu began to blow the conch. The moment the conch sound sounded, the kraken's newly condensed body seemed a little unstable and about to be scattered. After blowing for 5 minutes, the siren's body was completely disintegrated and turned into a trace of black air again. This black gas did not fly back to the secret room, but flew to the inside of the purifying conch. The purifying conch is like a container that contains the power of the siren's clone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 433. Because all the mermaids in the Mermaid Kingdom heard the conch sound blown by Sutingyu, and without the secret influence of the sea monster, the mermaids returned to normal. The chiefs of the 8 major tribes came to see Princess Nelly with apologetic expressions. In fact, they were also victims. Unknowingly, they were affected by the siren, and they always followed the will of the Mermaid Queen Nelly without any independent opinions. There are actually some nursery rhymes about the kraken that have been passed down, but only its name is known. Almost no marine life knows what the kraken is and how much disaster it will cause. The two parties communicated with each other for a while, and Princess Neely forgave the tribal leaders. Please note. Player Angel Su unlocks the hidden worldview legend of the siren. Summary of the worldview: where there is light, there will be darkness in everyone's heart. There is a cruel and deceptive sea monster. Please stick to the bottom line of being a human being and don't let the sea monster take advantage of it. Hundreds of years ago, when the last mermaid queen was still alive, the siren was already secretly plotting how to lift the seal. Taking advantage of the slightest weakness in the seal, the siren used some strength to escape, and then targeted Nalan, who was the eldest princess at the time. Nalan is the eldest princess. According to convention, she will inherit the throne of the Mermaid Queen. Unfortunately, because of her strong and authoritarian personality, the new queen finally gave up on cultivating Nalan and focused her energy on it after a long period of investigation. On the little Princess Nelly. Nelly is a yellow and fair fishtail. When dealing with government affairs and some disputes, she is not very rigid, but can be flexible and adaptable. With her kind and gentle personality, she is very popular among the mermaid people. Finally, after discussing with the 8 tribe chiefs, the Mermaid Queen decided to pass the throne to Nelly. But it was precisely because of this decision that before it was officially announced to all the mermaid people, Nalan learned about it in advance and turned dark. Then the sea monster took advantage of it and took control of her mind. Later, the Mermaid Queen suddenly died of illness, and Princess Nelly, who was deeply loved by the mermaids, became the public enemy of all mermaids. Naran succeeded to the throne and became the new Mermaid Queen. As for the Great Mermaid Elder, after he was demoted and punished by the previous queen for committing crimes hundreds of years ago, he was easily bewitched by the sea monster. As for the punishment of these two people, the Great Mermaid Elder Nizhung was removed from the mermaid family tree and immediately sentenced to death for being suspected of murdering the previous queen. Nalan, on the other hand, for the sake of her royal bloodline, had her mermaid's main tendons removed, her body paralyzed, and she would be imprisoned in a dark cell for the rest of her life until she died. But when she heard that the punishment was worse than life, Nalan chose to commit suicide while the guards were not paying attention. Finally, Princess Nelly ascended the throne and became the new king of the Mermaid Kingdom. Congratulations to the player Angel Su for cracking the hidden worldview, the legend of Siren. Congratulations to player Angel Su for completing all main quests. You will have priority to obtain special occupations. Sutingyu, who was watching the coronation ceremony, received new information from the panel. Professional priority rights? Will there be players competing with me? As soon as the idea came up, Sutingyu immediately rejected it. Currently, she is the only player who has returned to the Mermaid Kingdom and completed the remaining main quests. Other players cannot compete with her. So this is just the official word of the panel system? Just for show? At this time, the content of the panel is refreshed. Being a bug in a survival game. Author, Kuanke. Chapter 434. This time, not only was Sutingyu's panel responsive, but all the players who survived this round of copies received panel messages at the same time. Attention players of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the main mission of this round of dungeon has been completed. The number of players who have completed all main missions, 1, and the number of players who have not completed all main missions, 29. After review, the special professions in this round of dungeons will be obtained by players who have completed all main missions, Number of places to obtain a profession, 1. Attention, players, the dungeon journey of 20,000 leagues under the sea is about to end, and all players will be teleported out of the dungeon in 2 minutes. Has any player completed all the main missions? Damn. Only one player can get a career? It's all in vain. If I had known earlier, I would have traded the tokens. Other players who received the message from the panel were either shocked, angry or regretful, but it was all to no avail. Sutinyu had already received the general information about the new profession. Congratulations to the player Angel Su for obtaining the profession of this round's token copy, Pure Heart Singer. Player Angel Su is asked to choose items bound to this profession within 1 minute. The countdown begins, 59, 58, 57. Sutinyu, What the hell? Are you looking for career-bound items now? Can't you wait and look for it later? Sutinyu quickly left the ceremony and found a corner where there were no mermaids. At this time, there were only 20 seconds left in the countdown, and the prompt on the panel popped out. Attention player Angel Su, please choose career binding items within the stipulated time, no waiting will be done. Depend on. When Sutinyu saw the last 4 words, he was already greeting the game cordially in his heart. Bind items, is there anything suitable for binding? Sutinyu quickly rummaged through the items in the inventory. Conch should be suitable. In fact, a real tube should be more suitable, but now for a while, Sutinyu couldn't find it. 10987. Sutinyu quickly took out the conch and clicked to bind. Congratulations to the player Angel Su for successfully binding the professional item, Mermaid Conch. The name of the conch has changed. If Sutinyu remembered correctly, the original name of the conch was Conch from the Deep Sea, and its only function was as a token itself. Now that the level has been cleared, the original token effect of the conch has disappeared and it has become an ordinary conch. But now, because it has become a professional bound item, the conch has immediately changed again. And now, it's time to leave. When 2 minutes were up, Sutinyu's figure disappeared from the spot. And just a second before leaving the dungeon, Sutinyu was still a little on tenterhooks and subconsciously reflected that this round of dungeons shouldn't be too much, right? This career dungeon shouldn't collapse again, right? Fortunately, what Sutinyu was worried about did not happen. The copy appears to be safe and sound. Until the enthronement ceremony gradually came to an end, and the mermaids who had played for a long time went home in groups. One of them, an inconspicuous man, sneaked away into the tower. As soon as he entered, a panel with white text on a black background popped up in front of the merman. The world version copy of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea has ended and is now being recycled for value determination. Judgment result: this world version copy has lost its copy value. It is recommended to remove it from the world version copy list. The merman stretched out his hand and deleted the copy of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. From now on, there will no longer be the same 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.